So we're here in Death Valley to kind of explore what it's like just to visit this place and experience this level of heat. So we just arrived in Badwater, and I kind of want to take you through the stages or waves of how the heat affects you out here. So this is our, let's say, the first stage. So we just arrived in Badwater, car, air conditioning. I kind of want to take you through the stages or nice waves. Then we have stage 2, which is getting out of the car, where you're immediately hit with how hot it is. However, I would say when you're standing still, you just got out of the car, it's hot, but it's not shocking, it's not oppressive. So we've left the car, walked down onto the salt flat, and this is where the heat finally really. So I grew up in the desert, and I've worked down on the salt flat started sweating. This is where the heat and I can say that this is a different level. And I think that's the way to say it. Walked pretty good distance from the cars now, unless you're able to get to a vehicle. If it wasn't 120 degrees, I would say we're right next to the cars. So this is what I mean by how hot it is. I've got my hood up and my sleeve rolled onto my hand because my entire tripod feels like I'm going to burn myself every time I touch it. So I have to make sure that my skin is not touching my equipment just to avoid being burned. I grew up in the desert, and I've worked in some pretty extreme environments in my life, and I can say that this is a different level of heat. We've walked pretty good distance from the cars now. If it wasn't 120 degrees, I would say we're right next to the cars, but out here in this environment, in this heat, it feels like you could be miles away. Every step you take going away from the cars feels like 2 steps going back. One thing I would say is you just don't acclimate. Once it seems like I'm over 110 degrees, I never get used to it. I've been out here for half an hour, and it feels as hot now as it did when I stepped out of the car, if not even worse.